What is up, everybody? It is I, the Juice Man, coming back to you with another episode of the Gaming Roundtable. It's going to be a short, but maybe a little sweet one. And no, it's not really about Warhammer. It's about something else. This is episode 8. Pull up a chair at the round table. Grab a cold one if you're able. I'm just having some Coca-Cola tonight, taking a break from the drink. And this episode 108 is entitled Bit Upset. So I have Fire Pro Wrestling World on pre-order, and I was wanting to hoping that I would be able to play the game after midnight here in the Western Hemisphere, where since it's after midnight is currently Tuesday on the earliest that Tuesday can be, but unfortunately, due to for whatever reasons unknown, the makers of Fire Pro are making everyone wait till 8 a.m. before the game's actually going to be ready if you bought it digitally. Now, in the past, I have worked third shift hours, for example, and was off, and the game was coming out. It was new release Tuesday. I've gone to Walmart at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and was able to purchase said game. As a matter of fact, I work at Walmart, and there is they put out literally right around just after midnight, when the new release of Marvel Avengers Infinity War came out, they put it out there literally at like 12:05, so people could buy it right away. I also want to say that I have played games. I have also played games. Digital titles. I've taken a couple times in the past 2 years where I decided to pre-order a couple digital titles that were coming out, and you pre-order them, and what that does, the game kind of pre-installs, and I was actually able to play those games right at midnight. One of which was Saren Kugera, Peach Beach Splash, or PBS as it's called, which is kind of funny, Public Broadcasting Service. But no, that I had pre-ordered that game, and I remember at midnight, boom, I was able to play the game. Like literally at midnight, the game's downloaded. It started downloading, and once it was finished, because it's not a huge game, I was able to play it right then and there. That's one example. And the second example that I want to give is Fallout 4, which I had pre-ordered a hard copy of. I had a friend of mine who, like me, likes the digital titles at the time, and he had pre-ordered it digitally, and right at midnight, sure enough, the game started downloading, and which, of course, it took most of the night because he has not the greatest internet connection, but the fact was that it was there. It was there at midnight, and there you have it, and or at least was downloading at the time. And this is the first instance where I have pre-ordered a digital title, and the game's not going to be ready for a little over 8 hours, which means like right around 8 a.m., maybe closer to 9, the game's going to be ready to play. I don't really have, again, I'm a bit upset by that because it is Tuesday, it's new release Tuesday. Why not have the game available at midnight? It would be different if the game wasn't ready, or the servers wasn't there for it to support the game. But I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that, because it's been on Steam. I've seen Fire Pro Wrestling World videos as old as 8 months. So apparently it's been out for a while on the PC end. I think it was released last year, as a matter of fact. And but it's just strange to me that that this game, it's Tuesday, it's early, and it's new release, and they decided to not let anyone play it until such time. Now the game is currently installed on my hard drive. It's already downloaded. It's ready to go. I just can't play it until the morning. Of course, I'm not staying up all night to wait for that. And I was hoping to bring you all some videos on it tonight, and that will have to wait until a later date. Tomorrow I might hop on and do a video, but more than likely I won't. I'll do it when I get home from work. For whatever reason, they decided that they didn't want to. They didn't want to actually like have the game playable at midnight, and I think that's a shame because I'm going to tell you something. If GameStop, if there was another like really big title coming out, and a lot of times this happens with one-off titles too. You have what I call one-off titles is titles that are one-off, like the big releases, and these are titles that get kind of lost in the shuffle, or they're not as well known. If GameStop, let's say a big game was coming out, let's say Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was coming out, like they did a midnight launch like tonight. Let's just say this was the date it was coming out, and Fire Pro was going to be available. You could go to that GameStop at midnight and still pick that up because it's a new release. As long as it's after midnight, it's okay. And I've seen that. As a matter of fact, I went to the midnight launch of The Division, and The Division was the biggest game released that night. But there was a couple other titles released that night that were really kind of small niche titles, but they were still available to be purchased because it was after midnight. I'm very disappointed in the company that is making this game to still making people wait until it's officially Tuesday. I guess to them 8 o'clock in the morning is Tuesday. Well, here's what I have to say about that. Number one, at 8 in the morning on Tuesday, okay, you're doing this on a school night, so kids ain't going to be able to go to the store and buy the stuff. Parents ain't going to be able to do that. They got to work. You're not going to let, people who pre-order it digital play it at midnight, which would garner, I think, a lot of players if they could do that. Since the other two times that I had pre-ordered something, I played it right at midnight, or it started downloading at midnight, and I had to wait, and then I got to play it. But my point is that I'm trying to make is that, if I go to Walmart right now, of course I've already paid for the game, so I'm not going to do this. There's a incredible chance, because they do have third shift people work electronics to put the new stuff out, that I could go and purchase it right now. I'm not going to do that because I already bought the game. But my point is that I don't think that's really fair to have a game have some kind of weird wait time, release time. Especially since two other times that I have done this has not been a problem. And I'm disappointed because I was really looking forward to playing this game. Outside of Warhammer Inquisitor, which is something I was like really been following. I've been literally following Inquisitor for like 4 or 5 months. Outside of that, this game, Fire Pro, I wasn't real interested in getting until a friend of mine, Posthuman Guy, what's up, buddy? He was talking to me about it, and then kind of convinced me to watch videos and try to see what the game was about. Because we started talking about the WWE 2K series, and how the WWE 2K series, like I've owned 2K12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 that I had for about 6 months, and then got just pretty much bored with it and traded it back in and towards something else. How I told him, I said, the 2K series does have a lot of polish, even though last games, the 2K18's career mode, I thought was a little meh, because nothing was basically voiced, and they did lock the moves and stuff in the career mode behind loot boxes, and I did correct that on one of my channels. But I did enjoy aspects of the 2K18. I love the backstage fighting, and I like certain things, but I started realizing how he asked me if I still owned it, and I'm like, well, no. I said I kind of got rid of it. I said I couldn't keep playing it because it just did not. To me, it didn't feel like there was that big of a significant difference between 18 and 17, and I kind of felt that way between 16 and 17. And my favorite of all of those that's come out, I believe, was there's a couple. I think 2K think it's 16 had Stone Cold on the cover. You got to do his career, which was really like a lot of fun. And of course, I think the one with CM Punk, which might have been, it's either 13 or 14, and because they're so similar. But the one that had where you played through the Attitude Era, that was great. But it's like I just can't. And I've been watching wrestling since I was like 7 years old, so I've been watching it for years, and it just bothers me, that for the first time when I started watching YouTube videos on Fire Pro Wrestling World and going like, wow, you can make everybody. They have these 30-man Royal Rumbles with like all these WWE guys now, where you can make past guys, you can do all this editing and all this stuff, and I was really jazzed, hoping that when I got home from work, by the time I got home and settled in for about an hour or so, then I'd be able to play the game. And lo and behold, the game is still giving me a wait timer. And I'm very disappointed that. I'm a bit upset by that. Because, like I said, a buddy of mine had got Fallout 4 digitally, and it started downloading onto the system at midnight. And then myself experienced that with Theron Kugera, Peach Beach Splash, and literally at midnight, boom, game starts downloading. I think the game's like 6 or 7 gigs. It was pretty quick, and I was able to play it literally like at 12:30. So I don't get or understand, and again, both games are coming from overseas. They're both Japanese companies, but I was able to play Theron Kugera no problem. So I don't understand why they chose to wait to let everyone at 8 o'clock. Because again, GameStop's open at 10. So even if you're like, okay, now everybody can play it at 8 a.m., well, if someone wants to buy it at GameStop or they have it on pre-order, they gotta wait till 10 before they can pick it up. So it's not like you're doing them a favor, and people now could probably go to their Walmarts and pick it up and get a hard copy of it. But for digital owners, I guess we just got screwed out of being able to play the game, and I really feel I'm a bit upset about that. That's really what this episode's about. It's like I don't sometimes understand the reasoning behind wait periods, especially if it is new release Tuesday, new release Tuesday, right? And similarly with Neocore Games, who told me this game, I wrote them and emailed them, and they told me the game would be available to purchase on PS4 on August 23rd. It did not show up on the actual PlayStation Store or the local GameStop where I live at until the 24th. So it got delayed a day for whatever reason. I didn't worry about that so much. I'm very happy because I love this game. I absolutely love it. It's the only game I've been playing for the past 3 or 4 days. And Fire Pro was the only game that was going to tear me away for a little bit. But I just want to say that I just don't understand why make people wait. The difference between your game being available to play at midnight and your game being played at 8 a.m. it's just a few hours. And the fact that I have to wait because, and others like me who probably pre-ordered it and was hoping to play it tonight, and I'm sure they did, had to wait. I think it's a bum deal, because if Walmart happens to have it in stock to buy right now, then this whole idea of you making digital people wait and retail people not is utterly ridiculous, in my opinion. And so when I think about that, and I'm just going to do something real quick, since it's 12:33 my time. I'm going to go to Walmart.com, and I'm going to see. I'm just going to see something real quick. I've just got to see something because I'm real curious. So I'm going to do a search and see if there's. Let's see if it shows up for buy. I'm just curious. Let's see. And it might be something they don't carry either, because again, it's one of those niche one-off titles I talk about. But I'm just curious, and here it is. Here it is. So, Age Tech Inc., who is the publisher, Fire Pro Wrestling by Spike Chunsoft. And right now, if I click on it, yeah, it's available now. And I can see here, because it asks for like a zip code, like if it's available at your local store, which I'm doing now. Okay, now on their website here, it is showing that you still had to pre-order it. So maybe it is not available. It's still got a pre-order sign, and it still says now. See, and this is the funny thing, because now they're saying, they're trying to say that the game on Walmart's website says the game comes out on the 31st, which I know it comes out tomorrow. So Walmart's got their hairs kind of crossed, so I don't know what's going on there. But that's my point. Regardless of, I just am a bit upset because I was hoping to make some videos and show you some gameplay of this new wrestling game that I'm excited about, and I think a lot of people are going to be excited about. And you know, hopefully at some point the next day or so, I will be able to do videos on it once I get my hands on it, get a good feel for it, and kind of do some gameplay and talk about the game with you all. One of the things that I want to get into, I'm going to be doing some channel changes pretty soon. I talked a little bit about this the other day and touched base on it. I believe that I've decided that I'm going to end up getting a camera system and do some other things, so y'all will be able to see my gameplay and see me live here at my place. And hopefully we'll be doing some lineup changes and getting a little bit different kind of approach to the Juice Man's channel here at the Gaming Round Table. And I'm really hoping that we get that I can get this set up within the next few months. And as if everything works out, my channel will be changing a little bit. I wanted to FYI everyone on that who's subscribed to me that going forward, I won't just be some streamer. I will be streaming, but you'll be able to see me. We'll have a backdrop. We'll do some stuff because I think it's time to come out from behind the curtain and y'all can see me. Another thing that I've just told myself and talked about to myself today, just thinking out loud, so to speak, was that I'm going to try to give you all a new video every single day going forward. Something to talk about, something to do, and something to get into. So hopefully I will be able to have something new in play, especially, as I said, with all the new games coming out. We'll let you know on September 6th. I will be purchasing the Destiny reboot. Second time they rebooted the damn game. Thanks, Bungie, because you still can't get your shit straight. I'll be purchasing that, and Immortal Unchained, which is a new game that's coming out that's kind of got guns, and it's guns and melee, and it's Souls-like, but it takes place in a future sense. And I'm going to be talking about this game because I'm really excited about that. And there's some other, and I think those are the only two really in September that I'm picking up. I would pick up Spider-Man, but it's not a game that I really would like to play it. It looks awesome. It looks great, but I'm more excited for Immortal Unchained. And when that game comes out, I'll be telling you why. The reason I'm excited about it, and it does tie in with Too Human, my favorite game of all time. The game doesn't play like it, obviously, but it does share some commonalities, and there's a reason behind that, and I'll be talking about that. So just stay tuned, especially coming up the next week when these games are dropping, because I promise you I'll be showing you content on those games. And one of the things that I want to thank you all too for tuning in over the last couple years has been the fact that I do try to play games that are not always the most well-known games. That's why I bring games like Warhammer Inquisitor to you, and Warhammer, the Space Hulk Deathwing game, and games like Technomancer and Bound by Flame and these one-off titles, because there's a lot of good to be had in these titles, and it's important to get those out there so you all know how good they really are. So, you know, it's not always about Call of Duty and Battlefields and, like, you know, the Need for Speeds and it's in all the AAA titles out there. Well, this has been episode 108 of the Gaming Roundtable. 108 episode titled "I'm a Bit Upset." I was just talking a little bit about the idea behind this pre-order and why I couldn't play a game, but that's okay. I'll be bringing it to you tomorrow. And as always, gamers, good gaming.